welcome to Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast, episode 212. I am your co-host, Kiley Wilde, and I'm joined by my ever-present co-host, Pete Beckett.
Hello, I'm playing the role of Captain Toad today.
He legitimately is, and you should come check us out at twitch.tv/Rapid Reviews to see what the heck he's talking about. Of course, you can catch that on VODs and on YouTube as well. But I like to start out each and every episode with asking guests if we have them, and Pete if we don't. Except, wait a minute, it's my turn to go first this week.
Yeah, we're going to have a change because I've got a lot of games I need to talk about, so I want to talk to Kiley first and see how she's been going first. So, you know, ladies first and all that.
Normally I would say, Pete, what you been up to this week? But I'm not saying that. I'm going to say, Kiley, what you been up to this week?
Well, I mean, you could have easily have just gone, just be quiet for a second, and I could have gone, Kiley, how's your week been? What you been playing?
Me?
I know.
Be quiet?
I mean, it's a rarity, I'm fully aware.
Me?
Yeah.
There's nothing quiet about me. But yes. So, my week. Okay, what was all the stuff I was going to say that I said I'll talk about? Oh, okay. A few things happened. I'll talk about the normal life stuff, and then I'll talk about games.
Sure.
This is not a joke. Okay, I'll do it as a joke, as the joke I told, which is, I went to bottomless sushi.
Amazing.
And I didn't wear pants. And they kicked me out. No, kidding. Anyway, but...
Well, you had me in the first half.
There's one for the clips. Actually, I did all-you-can-eat sushi. And, Dagger says, well, I completed the Plucky Squire in one weekend. Beautiful game. I've got to play that. I have. I've just got to.
Honestly, I might be upgrading to PS Plus Extra soon before I can play Helldivers online, because for some reason my PC version is balked, so I'm annoyed by it.
Well, so I did all-you-can-eat sushi. It's called bottomless sushi, but I can't eat very much sushi because I have dietary restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
So let's put it this way, and I don't eat rice. That's just a me thing.
You're missing out. Rice is great.
I eat a lot of stuff with rice flour, so it's not like the taste of rice I don't like or anything. I just don't eat rice. I don't know why. It's weird. But I ate so much, I had to go to the bathroom and make room because it was just too much rice.
Nice.
And they didn't ask any questions. They knew. I got up and I was like, yes. I didn't get the words out of, where's your restroom? They were like, to the left over there. They just saw my face.
I mean, I don't know what's worse, trying to be polite about it or the usual Irish of, I need to go for a shite.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, the Irish don't do, they just say it. So I did that, but then after that, I headed over to Forbidden Planet, which everyone probably knows. That's a UK comic book store. Yeah. And the highlight of that, for me, was talking myself out of buying comics, because I'm digital.
You should have bought comics.
No.
The feel, the look, the smell.
It was just...
There you go. See, now you're understanding why you need physical stuff. It's the feel, it's the touch, it's the greatness of the touch. That's what she said.
That's definitely what she said. But I did see something that I really wanted, and I'm going to get it for my collection back there. No, it was not a pop figure, believe it or not.
Wow, that's a surprise.
It was, I kid you not, Master Chief helmet, not as like a 2D pillow, but like a full-on 3D Master Chief helmet pillow. Plushie, stuffed animal,
Christ.
Whatever. I was just like, it was 34 pounds.
Oh, so you can finally wear Master Cheeks.
I could go to bed with him. But I didn't. I put him back because although I may be considered by some to have the means of a very comfortable life, I'm also very much a cheapskate, and there's no way I was paying 34 pounds for a pillow.
So essentially what you're saying is you're going to go and look on Temu and see if you can find it cheaper.
Well, I have vendors that I work with in my own job.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was just deciding to use Temu as the option.
But I think that was it. Oh, and then also I went and saw my absolute favorite. I'm a huge musical theater nerd.
Nice.
I've never hidden that. That is just, I am huge musical theater. It's my hugest weakness. They the Les Mis touring group started their newest tour, which is actually an arena tour, here in Belfast.
Nice.
They kicked it off here in Belfast. I bought the tickets 1 year ago. And I've been looking forward to it nonstop, every day. Couldn't wait. Went. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Front row seats because it's me.
Of course.
I almost rented one of the VIP booths, but I thought it was too far away, and it was. I think VIP booths are good for sports, which they do hockey in that same arena.
Yep.
Or even maybe some music acts, if they're like the full stage or whatever. But there's no way. I was just like, nah. I loved it. And when you're in a front row seat, they good evening, my Tendo. They escort you to your seat. They don't just point it out and go, oh yeah, you're up there. They actually escort you to your seat. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, I personally have not got the appeal of the front row seat at a stage show. Like I like a good stage show, but it's just I don't want to be sat there going like that the whole time. I'd rather have like a front on view like that. Yeah.
Well, normally I actually agree with you. And when I do go to the movies, I tend to, as I've said before, buy up the whole row if I don't want to be dealing with people. I haven't had to do that the last 2 times.
No,
There's
because
barely anybody in there.
Cinema attendance has gone down exponentially.
But I always plop myself down right in the middle. That's what she said. No, I'm not reading that out loud. Oh, I love it. Mike says, somewhere in the Mushroom Kingdom, there's a poor toad who is hatless.
Either that or I am Captain Toad.
Cap. That's a joke in there somewhere. Anyway,
oh, look,
so that's my boring stuff.
There's a Cappy t-shirt, so maybe I've actually just
there you go.
possessed a toad.
That's it. But enough of all that boring stuff in my life. Games. So, okay. Streams have been going really well. Most of these beautiful, absolutely gorgeous people in our chat are in my chat as well. And they really, really, really do give me like all the support in the world. And I appreciate it so much.
Sorry,
so much.
I have not been able to be around over the last 2 weeks. I've been very busy.
Stuff happens. Yeah, I know what you've been up to, Pete. You don't have to. I know.
No, it's also work kicking my total ass.
Yeah. Your toad ass. But anyway.
Yeah.
You have to do some kind of pun with toad as the title of the show. But having said all that, actually I'm gonna make 2 points because this is my time. I cannot believe it. I just hit 20K views on YouTube.
Amazing.
And got 15 subscribers this week. And yes, I saw one Mike Tindo subscribed and a lovely person from his Discord, Goni.
Hey,
I'm
Goni.
saying that right. Yeah. Also
Yeah, Goni is great. Need to get him on the show at some point. He's actually a listener. He's currently listening through the back catalogue, but you know.
Oh, sweet! That's amazing. Dagger says, not been around as much as I would like, but transport links have become insane. Oh, I know. I know. Ugh. But, so having said all of that, and kudos to all of you amazing people who do support me. And, of course, my mod, Nana, who's also a mod for Rapid Reviews here, could not do it without him. Because, for real, not a joke. He fixes all of my mistakes. And as Pete knows, because Pete is the fixer here.
There is plenty of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Always keeping Nana on his toes.
But, yes, that's for sure. But, okay, so having said all that, the games that I've played, we're now getting into the really juicy bit, the reason why you listen to a gaming podcast. Of course, I played my all-time favorite, Hitman. Hitman brings all the hits. The weird thing is, I'm doing less funny haha Hitman stuff, and more, I'm actually kind of getting into it.
Oh, okay.
That's a weird one for me. So that's cool. But then we went and we played new stuff. I had to play 2 short days because I wasn't feeling the greatest. I picked up a stomach bug and it was bad.
Oh, yeah, they're horrible. So probably the worst thing you can do while sitting in front of a camera going, oh shit, my stomach's not going good.
Oh, it's just like this. Oh.
Yeah.
But I played Mullet Mad Jack, which was so much fun. I cannot recommend that game enough. I think it's still a little bit pricey because I think it's at 8 or 10 pounds. I think it's 8 on CD keys maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to you. It is a short game, but it is fun. It is just like well, it's not just like, but it's very similar to Angerfoot.
Oh, okay.
And yes, Nana is correct. We started Hitman 2 this week. That's right.
Oh, well,
yes.
So what? You've been playing through the rebooted Hitman. So you've been playing through the missions from 1, and now you're on to 2's ones.
Yes, exactly.
Have you been doing any of the elite takedowns or the elite assassinations?
No, because I tried, and you only get one chance at it.
Of course.
And I failed so miserably. I think I would spend a total of 2 minutes on that map. Yes, it was quite hilarious. Proving it again, I'm not actually good at Hitman. I play it for the lulz. But having said that, so we played Mullet Mad Jack, which again, very similar to Angerfoot. So fun. Music's great. Graphics are great. It's just, you just like, there's no stopping.
It's a very kinetic game then.
Yes, very kinetic and frenetic. Because I play it, it's frenetic. But I do highly recommend that. And then I played a very a kind of an old school one. Now, I guess 2017 and 2018. Ben and Ed, which I had watched a lot of people play, but I've never played myself. Don't clip that. But you just played yourself. I started it up, and it doesn't work the greatest with controller, but I wasn't gonna do mouse and keyboard. I was not feeling the greatest. But it's so fun. It's almost like Fall Guys, but you're by yourself, and you're a zombie, and your zombie can remove parts of himself. Like, if you need to get through a really, annoying, scary bit, you can pop off your head, that's what she said, and throw it to get you over, through that hurdle. And it's unlimited tries, it's unlimited lives. It's not like, old school, like, oh, you lost your life 3 times, you have to start over. So it's very fun too. It is also that kind of just keeps moving forward game.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So very fun, still very fun after all these years. Doesn't work the best with controller.
No. I mean, it's just look at the Steam page. It does say that it supports Xbox controllers, but
it does support it. Like, I use the controller. It just doesn't work very well with it.
Okay.
And in the game, it's got, instead of like, because in the game the first part obviously is a tutorial, so it's got like your move set.
Sure.
It's on keyboard. They don't have even the controller move set
listed.
Or, well, not listed, but I mean in front of your face.
Yeah.
Probably does if you go through the menu, but. So I had to keep figuring out, which button did whatever. And I did find the twerking button.
Of course you did.
Yeah. So we watched him twerk for a little bit. That was fun. Twerking zombie.
Honestly, I am watching the trailer for this, and this looks like a bit of me, actually.
Yes.
It's only £7 on Steam. Not bad.
I didn't think it was much. So I do recommend that one.
Also, sorry, I do need to correct you. It's not 2017. It's a 2015 game.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, but there is also a sequel.
I did think there was a sequel, but I didn't pick that one up.
No, but there's a bundle currently on Steam for just shy of £15 for both games.
Right, okay. Well, then if it's a 2015 game, it could be forgiven even more for not quite, gelling with the controller.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But still a lot of fun. I still recommend it. And then I played. I know I'm gonna end up pulling out this. No, Fran Bow. Fran Bow is a very, very old school classic. I say old school. We're talking, late 2000s. I'm not meaning like old school, like 1985. But a very well-known indie horror point-and-click game. And it's actually the first game I ever in my life streamed, ever.
Nice.
And Oh god, I was so bad. I didn't know how to stream back then. But anyway, it's a very complex game. It's got a lot of layers. Not layers of fear, but a lot of layers. And it's about like child abuse a lot. But it's as an analog. It's not, you're not seeing the actual abuse. You're just seeing the symbolism of it. So I recommend it for a deep thinking horror game if you want that.
Yeah. Was this part of your Weird Wednesdays?
This was my Weird Wednesday, yes.
Yeah,
No. I think I did Frightening Fridays with that one.
Oh, well, it would fit either one, because I'm just watching the trailer now, and it yeah.
That's right. Mike says, "Hey folks, I'm gonna have to clock out and catch you on Spotify tomorrow. Gotta go support." Oh yeah, go absolutely.
Yeah, I just saw that he went. He just saw that he went live. So tell him we said hello.
Absolutely. But yeah, and so then I played. What did I play? Sleeping Dogs, which is one of my. Oh sweet.
We'll plug that later.
Yeah, my episode goes live tomorrow.
Wee.
But what was I saying? Oh, Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs. I love that game. We've talked about it on the show a few times.
I think you nominated for Game of the Decade.
I'm sure I did because it is definitely one of my top 5 still right now. It's you can tell it is a bit dated to an extent, but I did get the definitive edition, which is kind of a remastered type thing. It was so ahead of its time that even now, the little bit that's a little dated is so minuscule, you know.
Ooh.
What's that?
That's tempting. Currently on CD Keys, the definitive edition I can get for £3.39.
Oh, I encourage it. My gosh, I didn't realize that.
I've been wanting to play this game for years because of how much you've spoken about it, and it does sound really good. It is.
I said this on my stream. It's like if Saints Row and GTA, smushed together and made a baby, and then what you got was Sleeping Dogs, because it's got some absurd humor. You can also get an outfit. An Agent 47 outfit, which is what our goal is over on my channel now.
Well, yeah, because it was published by Square Enix when they owned IO Interactive, wasn't it?
Yes, so that's what my next goal is. But the gameplay is still there. It is still, to this day, my favorite martial arts battler or whatever, fighter.
Yeah.
It handles the martial arts just perfectly. It feels so natural, even in the controller on PC. And Nana kept noting the similarities between Sleeping Dogs and then Yakuza, because there is a lot of similarities. Also, because you can also do karaoke. We haven't made it to the karaoke bit, but you can also do karaoke.
Yes.
In Sleeping Dogs. But my favorite part is that you can pee in the toilet.
Amazing. Because I hadn't seen that since the Duke Nukem game.
Exactly. I think that it was definitely influenced by that. But I always make the joke because I don't have that equipment, so it's weird to me to play somebody that's standing up to pee. Ta-da! That's the brain of Kiley.
No, that's the greatness of video games. It can make you be something you are not.
Yeah. I get to understand how dudes pee. Wow.
Jesus, that's a clippable one. Now to get it queued for Tuesday.
Oh no.
Do it.
But and of course I'm still continuing to play Squirrel with a Gun. Ooh, the difficulty factor has jumped up. Big time.
I do want to get it. It's just I've got a lot of games in my to play at the moment.
It's a great game. I highly encourage it. But it is not Goat Simulator. It is an actual game. Not that Goat Simulator isn't an actual game.
Sure.
But you know what I mean. It's getting steep, that difficulty spike. But
yes.
I think that finishes that.
I think so. You didn't actually put Squirrel with Gun on the list, but I'll add it to the list.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think because that's just my offline game or whatever.
Yeah, but it's still been playing a game. I've been playing plenty of offline games.
Dagger said, "Did you manage to grab the various nuts in each area?"
That's what she said.
I've gotten all the golden nuts. Um, there's a sound bite. But I just can't seem to defeat Daddy. Is
It
where I
ain't
am.
getting any better there.
No, it's not, is it?
No.
Daddy's very difficult to beat. And for those who don't know, that is his actual name in the game.
I am aware. I'm aware. You're not just encouraging abuse
Yeah.
of a father.
No.
Okay, good.
Or any man that you call daddy. Doesn't have to be your father.
That wouldn't. I mean, there's some weird people out there. I don't agree with it, but you know, you do you. You do you.
But yes, I think that does close out my week. Now I want to hear about Pete's very cool, fun, adventurous gameplay this week.
Well, I'll get to that. Because I have actually been playing other games before that I talk about that. So, where do I start? I'm actually going to start with a very easy, simple one that I can review very quickly. Do you happen to remember a little simple platformer that we played at WASD called Grapple Dog?
I do. I loved Grapple Dog.
So,
yes.
Grapple Dog Cosmic Canines came out a couple of weeks ago.
It was delayed, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's
originally?
recent. It's honestly just come out of the middle of September. So
Excellent.
I picked up the bundle. I actually haven't played the second one yet. I've been playing the first one,
Sweet.
and I'm not a big fan of the first one.
Oh no.
So the first one, like, you can see a lot of the elements, obviously, of what we played in the second one in there.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of the level design in it, and the music is incredibly generic, and it's played on every single stage, and it's quite annoying when you hear it more than once. And it's sort of one of those ones, like a very old school platformer. You hear it on a loop so frequently.
Oh, yes,
and it gets frustrating. But the game is genuinely quite fun, but it's just some elements about it I wasn't particularly enjoying. So I will go to complete it because it's not a very long game, but I do want to play it more so that I can obviously get into playing the second game. There was a bundle on it when it first came out. I can't remember how much the bundle was, but I can kind of have a quick look, but yeah. So I'll have a look at that in a minute and let you know. But so I actually want to talk about Astro Bot a little bit more because I finished it. Barring one last thing, I've got the super secret, incredibly difficult, ridiculously hard run level to do. The one that has been doing the rounds on Twitter. For how unbelievably hard it is. However, I'm not going to talk about that one because I just want to talk about the game generally. After completing it and getting all 300 bots, I think there is one or a couple left to get. I haven't got it anymore. I've lent it to a friend so that I can just have a bit of downtime before I go and tackle that level. But my God, was it an absolute joy to play from start to finish. And once you finish the main boss, there are a couple of really difficult challenge levels that open up. And by difficult, I mean really difficult. Like the same sort of levels that you would get for a 3D Mario platformer. Difficult post-game.
Right.
So imagine like Mario Sunshine's Floodless levels.
Right,
and stuff like that, or the Cosmic Stars levels from Mario Galaxy, stuff along those lines of how difficult they are. They are very difficult.
Yes. Okay, I got you now.
Yeah, it is genuinely the most inventive platformer I have played in a very long time, and it is without a doubt, it's a nominee for Game of the Year.
Oh, excellent.
By any measure. It's ridiculously fun, and it's a high recommendation for anyone who loves a good platformer. But even those who aren't big on them, there's enough in there to make it as accessible as possible and make it a lot of fun. So good. If it ever comes to PC, Kylie, pick it up and play it. I think you'd love it.
I think I would too. So
I'm gonna go over this one quickly as well because I'm still playing Street Fighter 6, but this week marks the release of one Terry Bogard.
Oh, yes.
So I had some time with him. I did some combo challenges and I played a few games online, and my God, is he hard to use, but he is a lot of fun. So he is one of the very few characters in the game that actually can cancel special moves together.
Right, okay.
So you can cancel his Burning Knuckle into his Crack Shoot kick and his DPs and everything, so you can chain 3 special moves together.
Okay.
It's very interesting, but obviously it's very difficult to do at times, especially in a live game, and trying to remember the combinations.
Well, I was going to say, would that make him OP, but I guess the difficulty comes in remembering that.
The difficulty comes into remembering which versions of the moves actually work well with them, so you might be able to use a hard version of the shoulder charge to then use the crack shoot kick and then into his DP. It's quite tough, and obviously you have to go fishing quite a lot for, or bait your opponents into actually trying to, we call it fishing out, or getting ready to sort of use those special moves. It's difficult, but people have figured out a lot of strategies against him because he is surprisingly robust in terms of both offense and defense, but I think his damage isn't very good. I think they've compensated by doing that at least, but he's got a lot of accessible combos, and he's got a lot of target combos that can get him into various different situations as well. But he is a very fun character, and I think I will be playing more of him.
Excellent.
So,
I like what Danker said, though. You could say he's a hard man.
He is a hard man. He is indeed. I've got a big list of games that I'm going to cover in one big go in a minute. But I've actually decided that since I finished Astro Bot, I'm actually gone back and played a game from my backlog. And it's a game that's been sat on my PS5 for a long, long time. And it's a game that I spoke about when it first got announced that I really wanted to play but never got around to. I'm currently about 10 hours through Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, how is it, Pete? I want to know.
Oh, it's superb. I wish I would have played this sooner. It's brilliant. It's so hard to obviously talk about because, well, we're going to talk about a little bit more later on with some news, but it is an open world game set in the 13th century, surrounding the invasion by the Mongols into Tsushima, and you play as Jin Sakai, a lord of Tsushima, and he survives a battle of the invasion by the Mongols, and his uncle gets captured and he has to go and rescue him. But along the way that you need to actually go and recruit members to help you infiltrate the Mongol castle that's holding him, basically, or the territory that which they've taken over as their own. So you meet a lot of eclectic characters along the way. They are you have to recruit your forces, and you go along doing various different missions across a vast open world area of Tsushima. I'd say one of the greatest things about this game is the guidance system. So you know how obviously when you pinpoint parts on the marker, usually it'll be like, oh, you've got this waypoint showing you the way. I think the interesting way that they do the waypoint is actually guiding winds. So very much like in old school samurai movies, you'd have the wind going a certain way and sets a feel. So you can actually swipe up on your touchpad and it will show you the way by showing which direction the wind is going. And it's a very, very cool feature. The game is stunning. The load times are utterly ridiculous because literally from main menu into loading the game up, and it's a very large world, is several seconds. It's stupidly quick. Very quick to get you into the game after you die as well. So it's literally you're dead and then 2 seconds later you're back in, ready to go. Checkpoint system is surprisingly robust as well. And I'd say one of the best things about this game is it's tough. Even on a normal difficulty, it's very difficult. But the combat is so unbelievably fluid and immersive. It is one of the best feeling combat systems I've actually played in a very long time. And I used to really love Way of the Samurai and on the PS2 and PS3 era, and that had a really good combat system, but this absolutely wipes the floor with it. It's just so intuitive. You've got various different techniques that you can use. So you've got both the regular samurai techniques or the ghost techniques, which are more assassin based. So you can either go in stealthy and take people out using stealth tactics, or you can just walk in through the front door and showdown them. So you walk up to someone, it comes up with a prompt, you press up on the D-pad, and it literally, you can just stand off against them.
Yeah.
And it's the old school thing of a samurai movie where you're just facing each other down and waiting for the first person to swing. And
I like that.
It's really fun. And when you get an upgrade later on, you can start actually taking more out as a result of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did. I was very hesitant about going to play it because everyone had said that it's a really, really fun and immersive game. And I worried that I wasn't going to enjoy it, but no, I'm absolutely loving it. I played 4 hours of it yesterday when I had some free time, and I just couldn't put it down. Same throughout the week. I've just been trying to grind through some of it and just haven't been able to put a controller down and just stop playing it.
Right.
It's been good.
That's amazing.
Really enjoying it, so high recommend from me.
That. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm playing the definitive edition on PS5, as you can see.
Right.
So the director's cut. So after all it's done, I can go into the Iki Island expansion after it as well.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first game I bought for my PS5 and never actually played it, so that's quite worrying.
Right.
But hey, it's times like this when you can get through your backlog.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyway, right, got a list of games that I need to go through because last weekend, and half the reason why we wasn't here was because I had a very, very busy weekend where I actually was on my stag do. So one of the first game that I'll talk about, big thanks to the guys who obviously organised this and everything that we did throughout the day, Smash Brothers Ultimate. So I've been back playing Smash Ultimate, and probably not the most ideal way of playing it with a single Joy-Con, but if I was to tell you it was done in a massive cinema screen with the surround sound, it was freaking awesome. It was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life, just playing big screen Smash, as my mate said, literally, as we walked away drunk. It's finished out the night, and he went, "Woo, big screen Smash, woo!" I was like, yeah, it's fucking amazing. It was so cool.
That's so cool. I just love it so much.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So after that, we actually went to a barcade in London called Four Quarters in Elephant and Castle. Basically, it's a gaming bar, so drinks, and they've got booths set up where you can have like various different consoles there. So each setup has a different console. So the one that we got was an N64 and a Mega Drive. So for the first couple of hours, we played through a various list of games from both of those respective consoles. So I start out with Goldeneye. We played 4-player Goldeneye and swapped the pad around every so often.
Awesome.
The game runs like complete donkey's balls. It is terrible. It is such a fun game though. Like when you're playing it multiplayer, it brings back all those years of like playing it again. But it is not aged very well.
No, it has not.
It's such a shame, but look, I still had fun. It doesn't matter. Next up, we played Smash Brothers on 64. Still fun. It's quite weird going from playing Smash Ultimate to playing Smash 64 because it is. I mean, it's not aged terribly. It still runs really well. It's still really fluid, and the combat is still brilliant to it. But there's a lot that's been pared back, of course. So you can't charge smash attacks. There's only one taunt. Right. Some of the move sets have changed between characters as well. So it's kind of like going back and playing Street Fighter 2 to Street Fighter 6. It's like you can see the early stages of how they got there, basically. But it's still fun.
Right.
Next up, we played Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh, that's so cool.
Diddy Kong Racing is okay. It's not a bad game. I don't have any nostalgia for it because I never really played it that much as a kid.
Right.
It's not bad. Out of the kart races of the time, Mario Kart 64 is still fun. Still actually fun. Whereas this probably not as much. Mario Kart 64, we did play a few races on that as well. Really enjoyed that too. Yeah. What else did we play? Oh, we played F-Zero X as well.
Oh, right.
F-Zero X is crazy fun, but my god, that game looks like dick, basically. It's like, I know why. I understand the reasons behind it because they wanted to make sure that it ran at a solid 60 frames the whole time and was incredibly quick, but graphically it is not much to look at. There's a lot of fog everywhere.
Right.
So after we did that, we played a few Mega Drive games. So I'll talk about Mega Bomberman. Oh, Mega Bomberman.
Right.
So for those who don't know what the Bomberman series is, this is what was once developed by Hudson Soft and is now owned by Konami. It's basically just a multiplayer game where two or four players can stand on either side of the map and take out bricks, get power-ups, and try to take each other out with bombs. A game that we commented probably wouldn't be made these days the way that it was. So the difference between Mega Bomberman on the Mega Drive and Super Bomberman on the Super Nintendo was actually power-ups. There's a few different power-ups, including the dinos. So you bomber dinos that have various unique powers. So yeah, it's aged and it's not as quick as Super Bomberman, but it's still a lot of fun. And I love the Bomberman series anyway, so it was just nice to go and play it. And the sorry, Karen.
Well, Tanker said, "Oh, please tell me you played Gunstar Heroes."
We did not play Gunstar Heroes, unfortunately. The Mega Drive didn't go down as well as the 64 because we only had 2 controllers for that, so it was quite difficult.
Right.
So we were trying to find games that we could quickly pass the pad between.
Yeah.
So the final game that we actually played on the Mega Drive was one that all 6 of us could play with only 2 controllers. Micro Machines.
Love Micro Machines.
Micro Machines is still amazing. Yeah, I know. Please do it.
2 right
yeah, I know.
Back.
So yeah, for those unsure, Micro Machines is a top-down racing game from Codemasters.
Love it.
And yeah, you basically just pick a car, pick a character, and you have to drive around various terrains with different vehicles. Most of them are all themed around a certain thing. So the ones that we played were in the kitchen, on the pool table, and round a tree. So yeah, you're literally just a tiny car in a large environment, and it's still incredibly fun.
I love it. Pete, you may have to ban them because I'm not signed in.
That's fine. I will do that in a bit. So yeah. So looking back on it, the N64 and the Mega Drive, still really good console, still really fun to play with a bunch of people. Some of the games have aged pretty horribly. Yeah. But hey, playing them with friends was brilliant fun. So because of the rest of it, we actually had tokens that we had to play in the arcades as well. So they had various different arcade machines there, including House of the Dead, Guitaria Arcade, Time Crisis 2, although Time Crisis 2, the second player wasn't working, so it wasn't great, but they had Time Crisis 3 there as well, Street Fighter 2, Champion Edition, Tekken 6, Tekken Tag, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade. So that was one of the ones that I did actually play. So me and 2 of the guys actually played through that and got to World 4 of it. And my god, that game kicks your absolute butt because it is super hard.
That's what she said. But yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my light.
It was look, I freaking love that game. It's incredible. So I'll talk about the games that I did actually play. Not in a big way. So the one that I played on my own was Crazy Taxi, because you cannot get away with not playing Crazy Taxi. I still find the cabinet really weird because it's the stand-up one, so with no bar behind it. So this is the first version of it. So they did have a second version where you could have a little bench to sit down on. So this one was the first stand-up one, and it's still very, very weird to play, but I love that game so much. I played a bit of House of the Dead, so the first House of the Dead, and another one of those light gun games, still absolutely brilliant and super hard and such a quarter muncher. Played Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition with one of my friends and got beaten, which was horrendous. Then played Tekken 6 and got beaten by him again, so was not very happy with my fighting game output for the day. Until I decided to do the arcade ladder on one particular game, because they had a cabinet that had 6 different games from various company. I'm not telling you the company because one of the games I did play was Metal Slug.
Right.
Did all right on that. I got up to World 2, but yeah, I was running short on tokens at that time, so I didn't want to overdo it.
Right.
But I did a one quarter. So basically, they have quarters there. So they're old American arcade machines. So it literally was quarters. So I put a quarter in and played. I did an arcade run on King of Fighters 98.
Ooh.
And got through 4 stages of the 6, and was quite happy with my output on that. But by that time, my hands were very, very sore from playing a lot of games. So.
Oh goodness.
And the final game I did play with a couple of times with various different mates as well was Outrun 2.
Oh, Outrun, yeah.
The sit-down Outrun 2 cabinet. So it was the one that actually had Outrun 2 and Outrun 2 SP, and played both versions of it. And it's the first time. So I played three rounds on it, and it is the first time I've ever completed it.
Really?
I've completed. I did it 3 times as well. I completed 3 full runs, and the final time that I did it with one of my friends who's pretty good at driving games, we did an all hard run. So we never shied away from the hard runs, and we still managed to complete it. And I lost to him by no more than a second, and I was so annoyed. But it was Outrun 2 is still one of the best arcade driving games of all time. No, it's fantastic.
I have to agree with you. I love Outrun games on arcade.
Yeah, it's
Outrun 2 being the superior of them.
Oh, Outrun 2 is superb. They did have Outrun 1, one of the sit-down cabinet. It wasn't the one that moves; it's the static one. But I have played the motion Outrun machine before, and it's great fun. But Outrun 2 is just completely superior in every way, which you would sort of expect.
Yes.
So yeah, that was my last 2 weeks in games, and there was a lot of games. So sorry about that. That's 40-something minutes.
No, you know what? That's what we're a gaming podcast.
I know there was a lot to cover. Yeah, you can see why I made you go first.
Yes, I have many jokes about that, but I'm not going to say it.
If you're not first, you're last.
So I mean, we both. Although I think Pete had the most fun. But we did both play quite a bit of games.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks. But I think that will wrap it up for that segment.
Yes.
As we have no witty segue that I could think of, which is why I'm talking and not making any sense.
Yes.
My brain is going, oh, my light just disappeared again.
Oh, of course. Is it motion?
Yeah. No, it's a very expensive lamp. Photo light.
Wonderful.
Anyway, it just isn't going to stay on tonight. But as we transition, as we run out of games to talk about, we're going to talk about the news. There's
quite a bit of news, so let's go over a few quick hits before we cover the big ones. That's what she said. So I'm going to start with a story that might annoy you the most.
Oh, great. Okay.
So this one has been doing the rounds for the last couple of days because it was a very strange one. So a certain game was supposed to be appearing at a trade show in 2 weeks' time. The developers were also supposed to be doing a talk at Tokyo Game Show that was happening this week.
Yes.
But just before it started, Ubisoft decided that they were going to delay Assassin's Creed Shadows until February 14th, 2025.
Oh, now I get to hate that day for more than one reason.
Yes, so do I.
But it's your birthday, Pete.
Oh, shut up. I wish you hadn't said that.
I was not supposed to say that.
Yeah, thanks.
Mute that! No, go back and mute that.
Don't make me dox you. Let's read the story.
Okay.
Let's read the statement that they put out in regards to this. So, according to VGC, it says the move comes after Star Wars Outlaws failed to meet expectations following its release last month. Ubisoft stated when they were announcing the delay. Listening to players' feedback and as an illustration of a player-centric approach, the following important decisions related to Assassin's Creed Shadows have been taken. It will now be released on February 14th, 2025. While the game is feature complete, the learnings from the Star Wars Outlaws release led us to provide additional time to further polish the title. This will enable the biggest entry in the franchise to fully deliver on its ambition, notably by fulfilling the promise of our dual protagonist adventure with Naoi and Yasuke, bringing two very different gameplay styles. We are departing from the traditional season pass model. All players will be able to enjoy the game at the same time on February 14th, and those who pre-ordered the game will be granted the first expansion for free. The game will mark the return of our new releases on Steam day one.
Pete, you might have... I think you froze for a second, but you're fine now.
Okay. Yeah, you froze on my side, so yeah, that's fine.
Happening. Can you guys still hear me? Is it just Pete or is it me?
Am I okay?
Hold on. I just checked with chat. Because one of us it has frozen, but I don't know if it's me. And you're freezing on my camera or vice versa.
I mean, you froze on my side, so we can...
We can hear you. Okay, well, he says
cool.
We can hear you.
That's fine. All right. So, this story was from the 25th, so a few days ago now. Okay, so it says in a conference call following today's announcement, Ubisoft attempted to play down concerns that I'm not even going to read that because that spoils something from later on.
Right, okay.
But essentially, another game that got announced might take some sales away from it potentially.
Oh,
They're
right.
trying to play down concerns of it, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, unfortunately, those who were looking forward to it, yourself included, now going to have to wait until February for this to come out. So a lot of people on the internet have been speculating that this is because the game looked like balls and it did not look very fun. And then them calling it content complete or complete in some way means that actually no, it was probably definitely not, because this is Ubisoft we're talking about.
Wow. Well, I actually said this on my stream when I was playing Outlaws. Actually, Ubisoft does do pretty games. They do good looking games.
Yeah, but buggy.
The gameplay it's buggy, and the gameplay itself where it lacks.
No, I think what they meant is not that the game looks like crap, it's just it's going to be crap because it's Ubisoft's typical MO.
Right. And here was I thinking, how many times just don't listen to me, folks. How many times did I say on this show, this is Ubisoft's year. Oh, they've done it. Oh, can you believe it? They'll probably have a Game of the Year game at the end of the year, maybe even 2.
No,
don't listen
they're not
to
even
me,
getting any of them.
No.
I think Star Wars Outlaws seems to have, while some have been enjoying it, seems to have gone down pretty badly.
But Prince of Persia did well.
Oh yeah, it's one of those games I should actually play before the end of the year.
I think you would love it. I do think you should.
One of those ones are just waiting for it to go down in price though.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so don't listen to me, folks. I don't know jack crap. Because how many times have I been wrong? I said Sea of Thieves was not Sea of Thieves.
Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones wasn't coming out. I said that Elon Musk would never buy Twitter. And I said that Ubisoft would have a Game of the Year game. Don't listen to me. I don't know jack crap.
No, you don't, clearly. Anyway. Yeah, I don't think Prince of Persia did sell well, though. That's the unfortunate side of things, Nana. But hey. Right. It reviewed well. I think that's most of it. Yeah, I think a lot of people, especially from the Japanese region, were not particularly very happy about the way certain things were being depicted in terms of historical accuracy. So let's not go into that complete mess. But anyway, Shadows has been delayed. So shall we talk about America?
Always.
Well, you might not say that when you listen to this story.
Okay.
Because a new state law in California will force digital storefronts to admit to players they are simply buying a license for a digital product rather than owning it.
No, I think that's good. I think people should be warned of that.
As reported by The Verge, California Governor Gavin Newsom, oh God, a man that a lot of people do not seem to like, has signed a new bill that will forbid digital storefronts from using terms like buy unless customers are explicitly warned that they are paying for a license to the game, which may expire at any time.
I think that's good, actually. But yeah, keep going.
So the statement reads, as retailers continue to pivot away from selling physical media, the need for consumer protections or the purchase of digital media has become increasingly more important, California Assembly member Jackie Irwin said in a statement. I thank the governor for signing AB 2426, ensuring the false and deceptive advertising from sellers of digital media incorrectly telling consumers they own their purchases becomes a thing of the past.
Right.
So it's after several high-profile companies have taken games entirely offline in recent years. Could that be aimed at Concord? Possibly.
I think it's yeah.
Oh no, actually, this article has decided to take a shot at Ubisoft taking The Crew offline.
Okay. I mean, that's a good example. It's just one that I would go to. But...
Funnily enough, they're not talking about Concord in this particular article, though, which seems a bit weird.
Huh. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you know what? Sod it. Shall we talk about how Concord apparently cost $400 million to produce in 8 years?
I hate hearing that. The cheapskate in me. And
$400 million. $400 million.
How many people would that have fed? A bunch. Anyway.
Far too many. And 8 years.
8 years.
Do you want to do the quick maths and see how much per year that works out at?
No, how much millions was it?
400 million.
In 8 years, what is that? 2 each? I don't know. I'm not good at math.
Well, it works out about 50 million a year.
That's insane.
Yeah, 50 million a year.
Insane. So, with no return. With absolutely no return. See, this is the thing. If you're in business, any kind of business, the best you can hope for is to break even. Whatever you spend, you need to make back. And then some. So if you're spending for 8 years, if you're outflowing 50 million and you're not getting 50 million plus back, stop, end it, done, it's done, kill it, done, bury it, it's dead.
So obviously you have to remember, right? So 400 million is the fee that they paid for the game itself to be produced. This is not including Sony's end where they purchased the studio for however much.
Yep.
I can't even remember what the fee was for
Firewalk.
It doesn't matter anyway. Let's not get into that. But then you take into account marketing budgets for the game as well. So that's putting it on a state of play, advertisement hoardings, and all that sort of thing. You would think that in this case, if you're using the Hollywood method, it's about half of your budget. So we'll call it 200 million. Then if you're selling the game physically, you need to remember that, you know, retailers will buy copies of the games, so they have to recoup their costs that way.
Right.
The game needs to break doing quick maths. The game needed to break at least 800 million, at least.
Yeah. Just
to be somewhat level, not even to break a profit. That's not to turn a profit. That's to break even. They probably needed to make $1 billion.
Yes.
And how do you make $1 billion on a live service game? It's through microtransactions. It's through cosmetics. And they didn't even I don't think they even had an option for that in the game, did they?
No.
Which is good. Look, I'll commend them for that. Thank God. But they were never going to make their money back.
Well, I think that... And this kind of goes to what Nana says. I guess we can never trust Bungie now, lol. The thing is... There is a formula you need to do to be a live service game. Who has that formula? Bungie does. Bungie conquered that formula. The problem is Bungie couldn't sustain that.
I was going to say, let's be honest.
Sustainable.
Yeah, but remember when the first Destiny came out, and they couldn't even sustain that for the first year.
It was terrible. But they did hit the formula. The problem is the formula, as much as I do love live service games, and I know I'm in the minority, but I do love live service games, they can't last. It's not a sustainable model. And that's why Bungie allowed themselves, the voice of independence and where no one owns us, Bungie sold to Sony because their formula could not be sustained for longer than 5, 6, 7 years.
Nope.
And so all these people come behind Bungie, whether it's Suicide Squad or any of the games, Ubisoft's games, Outlaws, any of that, they come up thinking we'll steal some of Bungie's thunder with Destiny 2. You can't. You can't. It's not a sustainable model. Bungie got struck by lightning. Good lightning, not bad lightning. But lightning does not strike twice. It's not sustainable. You have to have... It would have to be something episodic, almost like Suicide Squad probably could have worked as a live service game, but there was no live service planning forethought before it was released.
No.
That came after. So that's my soapbox about live service games, and nobody's Bungie, and even Bungie failed in the live service games.
Yeah, but you also have to remember for the first couple of years, well, for the vast majority of Destiny 2's Destiny and Destiny 2's life cycle, they had Activision behind them as well, putting up a lot of development fund for publishing the game.
Yes, that's very true. Pete makes a very good point. There was a lot of money behind Bungie, and then when they chose to go independent, their version of independent, they had a little window there where they were successful. But again, for the millionth time, it's not a sustainable model.
Nope.
If Bungie, the kings, the queens, the rulers of live service, could not sustain it, they had to sell to Sony. Nobody else is going to be able to carry that model. This
is where I'm going to press X to doubt and go, they're not the kings, technically. Of recent examples, they're probably the better ones of them.
I think so.
But they're not the grandfathers of it.
World of Warcraft. Is that who you mean?
Yeah, Activision Blizzard, Blizzard and World of Warcraft. And then you also have to look at the most plucky up-and-comer from it, which was, it didn't start well, but has now managed to sustain a really good active player base, and that's Square Enix with Final Fantasy XIV Online.
Oh, yeah! I do forget. I do have a tendency to forget about Final Fantasy Online.
Yeah, and they've got a really decent system of expansions and stuff like that as well. So,
but, Pete, you are correct, and I do need to go on record saying this. You are absolutely correct about Warcraft. I did not even think about that.
Yeah, they were technically the originators.
Yeah, and they're never going...
But I say the originators, they probably popularized it because... Even before that, you technically had Ultima Online.
Well, right, okay. Oh my gosh, I forgot about Ultima. Oh my gosh, yeah. I know that I never got into Warcraft.
No.
The online version, obviously, I was into the regular Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. That's different. But I never got into World of Warcraft because I didn't understand the idea of buying expansions for a game that you already owned and all that kind of stuff. It is funny to see how far we've come since that. Yeah,
because console games are now doing that, really.
Yeah, and I almost expect to buy an expansion. It's weird. It's weird how that changes your mindset.
It really is. Weird. You're just like, I'm going to buy the game knowing full well that there's going to be some sort of DLC or expansion coming to it later on down the line.
Well, and in fact, I'll tell you a game I did do that on, and that was a few years ago, but it was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
I bought that with the idea that, yes, it's an expensive game because I bought it first day release. And was I working for a review? I was working for a review site, but I didn't get picked for that.
No.
So I paid a lot of money, but I thought in my head, I was like, it's a Rockstar product. It'll definitely have DLC in the future, and then I can it'll totally, pay for itself in the long run. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 never got DLC, ever.
Yeah, same as GTA 5.
Yeah, and
Except
so
for
like,
obviously the online updates and stuff like that.
yeah, because they did more online. They did the like true live service, as in their online section.
Yeah.
But it was funny to see that mentality go from, I won't buy a game because it's gonna have just bunches of bloatware and DLCs attached to it, to I bought Red Dead Redemption 2 thinking they will have DLCs in the future, expansions in the future, and they didn't.
It's kind of like the same principle as it was back in the 360 and PS3 days, where you wouldn't buy a game like on day one because you knew about a year later you'd get the Game of the Year edition or the Gold edition if you're Capcom.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I remember doing that with Fallout 3 and Oblivion.
Yeah, I waited on Fallout 3 until I could get the Game of the Year edition.
Yeah, of course, we can't go without mentioning lovely Oblivion and their locked off horse armor DLC.
Oh, horse armor.
Which is the first DLC that I was ever cognizant of. Now, I'm not saying it's the first one that ever happened.
No.
It's just the first one I knew about.
No.
I knew that the CD that Oblivion was on also had the horse armor on it, but I couldn't access the horse armor until I paid money to access it. And I just remember thinking, what is this? And then who knew that is the new era that we're in? And then you just accept it.
Yeah, the first one I remember, I think we talked about this before, was the fact Street Fighter Cross Tekken had all 12 of the characters on the disc. Even to the point where the pre-release material even had some of the DLC characters being advertised, and it was like, what the hell is this?
Those were so terrible. But they were terrible back then, and now here we are, and we're still doing the same thing. It's just not on a disc; it's digital.
Look how we've come back round to digital.
Exactly.
It's almost like it was part of our news story.
It totally was, yeah. Nana says, to be fair, I don't even think Rocksteady wanted Kill the Justice League to be live service.
No, they didn't.
I will tell you this: playing Justice League, playing Suicide Squad kills the Justice League. When you play the normal campaign or whatever, it you can tell that they didn't want to make it live service. The fact that they bolted on this live service, it destroyed what could have been a very good game. And like I said, it got very grindy at the end. Me and Max, all we did for 3 hours was grind. I mean, on the game.
I mean, you might.
On that game.
No, I'm not saying it.
Nope.
Not saying it.
On the game, for like the last 3 times we played it, and it was like, what? This isn't fun.
Yeah.
You know, like it's fun being there talking to your friends. Like that's fun. But the game itself was no longer fun, and that seems to be the kind of mentality of all the games that are getting released. Is, oh, we'll just tack on this like live service feature and it'll be great. People will love it. They'll buy into it. No, there's no way in freaking heck or heaven that I was gonna buy DLC cosmetics for Suicide Squad.
Nope.
There's none, no reason at all. I would have bought cosmetics for my Destiny 2 character because I actually had an emotional attachment to the character in a way. You know what I'm saying? But with Suicide Squad, there was no emotional attachment. It's like, okay,
no.
You want to wear a red suit? That's fine. I don't care.
No, honestly, I get the same as well because it's like similar to how it was with Street Fighter 5 with me. Like I didn't play the game for long periods of time. It was Cody that got me back into playing that game in season 3.
Right.
And that was because 1, I love Final Fight, and 2, I freaking love Cody. And by buying the 3rd season pass, I got access to all the characters, but I only wanted to play one of them, and then tended to buy costumes for him because he was cool. So I had that attachment to it to some degree.
You know what, Pete? I think we've actually kind of hit the whole thing, the nail head thing. Mm-hmm. Because, yes, you're exactly right. When I played Destiny 2, I loved my character. I wanted my character to have all of those paint shades and all the anything that you could go grind for and win and stuff like that. Because I loved my character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was emotionally invested in my character.
Yep.
Because it's someone that I had created. I don't necessarily feel that for let's say
Suicide Squad.
Well, Suicide Squad. Yeah, pick any member of Suicide Squad. I don't feel like I enjoyed the game, but I don't feel like, oh, I want to put Harley in, the Kingdom Come outfit or something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know. So maybe that's it. Maybe Bungie wins because they did the emotional attachment to characters. Never know.
Yeah. Speaking of emotional attachment to characters, shall we go on to the next story?
Absolutely.
Because in shocking news to absolutely nobody who knows anything about anything about everything, the recent crossover that Capcom and SNK seems to be continuing, because it was announced over the last few days that Fatal Fury City of the Wolves' first 2 DLC characters are, in fact, Ken and Chun-Li from Street Fighter.
Oh, goodness. They put those 2 in everything.
They do, and in surprise to absolutely nobody, of course, but I think most people probably expected it to be Ryu and Chun-Li, but no, they went with Ken instead.
Yeah.
But of course, recently Capcom got access to Terry Bogard, a notorious SNK member with blonde hair, so obviously SNK needed Capcom's blonde-haired warrior.
Yes.
And obviously the first lady of fighting games is making a return to the SNK franchises as well. Yeah. So so the pair will serve as DLC characters in Season 1 of Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, they announced. So Ken is slated to come into the game summer of 2025, so that's roughly a few months after the game that is released. And Chun-Li is expected in winter of 2025, and this comes off the back that the first season of characters is about 5, I think. So the first 2 characters are actually guest appearances. So yeah, in the surprising news to nobody, and I said that Capcom and SNK's collaboration would continue further. They continued further. I mean, there was no way that we were getting Mai and Terry without them being involved in Fatal Fury, and with obviously Capcom vs SNK 1 and 2 coming back via the collection, it was quite obvious that they were working on something.
Nana thinks that we are very close to a new Capcom versus SNK.
Well, if you remember a few weeks ago, I said it was potential that there's going to be a new one roughly around 2028. I'm still holding true to that one. I think by that time both games would have fizzled out in terms of their esports prowess, let's say. So it'd be the right time for both to go, look what we've been cooking up the last few years. It's a shame as well. I really want to play Fatal Fury, but it's quite difficult to support SNK when they're funded by the Saudi Public Investment Fund.
I know.
But goddamn, do I really want to play Fatal Fury, because Mai's gameplay came out over Tokyo Game Show, and Jesus, she looked good. She looks so good. I mean gameplay, not her character model also looks really good too.
Well, there's nothing wrong. I was gonna say there's nothing wrong with the character model looking good.
I know.
Yeah.
But still, I probably will be picking up Fatal Fury. I mean, so I think on Steam, you can pick up the bundle. I think it's about £50, but there are other sites where you could probably pick it up a little bit cheaper.
Nice.
So yeah. Anyway, just thought I'd get into that. So let's go on to the bigger news from this week, because Tokyo Game Show has been ongoing.
Which one year I'm going to that? I know I will.
Yes, I will hope to go at some point in the future. We will get into that. So, 2 notoriously large companies. I mean, several have done online presences, but Xbox and PlayStation have both done something regarding Tokyo Game Show, because one had a Tokyo Game Show broadcast and the other had a state of play.
Yes, they did.
So let's go into Xbox. So we're just going to run through quickly what was shown on their live stream, because they had certain moments where Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond came out and spoke to the Japanese audience and talked about their commitment to the Japanese audience and how this has been a good year for Microsoft or for Xbox in that region and all that. Except for the fact that they got rid of one studio that was Japanese owned, you know. But hey, let's not forget. Let's not remember that, shall we? You know. Anyway, so first up, what they showed was Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. So they showed some more cutscenes from this. The trailer looked particularly good. Was noted on Twitter that actually it's very strange to hear all these audio lines being said from 2004 across a 2024 game.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like they've re-recorded the dialogue in any way.
Yeah.
But my fears have been alleviated because Laurie Allen is still playing the boss.
Oh,
which is something that we said earlier on. I think it was during the June showcase. I was like, is Laurie Allen actually playing the boss? And yes, she still is. Thank goodness. Excellent. Because she is the definitive voice of the boss.
Yes.
So, next up, there is a new expansion coming to Overwatch 2, or a new collaboration at least, with My Hero Academia.
It's weird. I just gotta say this before you continue on. Those are two franchises that I used to be very connected to, and now I have no connection to whatsoever. I just find that very weird to me. Like, Kiley from 5 years ago, Overwatch and My Hero Academia. Ooh, Kiley now.
Yeah, Kiley a few years ago during Overwatch 1 would have bought both of those things.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
And then some. Talk about affiliation with characters and skins and all that for a live service game. Yes. That would have been the one.
That's true. Oh my gosh, good point, actually. Yes.
So, right, next up, they had Age of Mythology Retold Immortal Pillars was announced. So this is an expansion for the simulation game Age of Mythology Retold. So let's not go into that one. So during Phil Spencer's little discussion point, it was revealed that StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2 are coming to Game Pass for PC. And that is so StarCraft Remastered, StarCraft 2 campaign collection is November 5th for that. I don't know if it is just Game Pass PC, but very likely to be that or game. So no, to anyone with PC Game Pass or Game Pass Ultimate. So cool. Yeah. So it'll probably be worth playing on PC. Because I don't know anyone that plays StarCraft on a console.
No.
Next up, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle gets a new trailer. Woo! And this was mentioned by someone in our Discord, in the Rapid Reviews Discord. There is a link in the show notes. Please go and join. It was actually very weird to hear Indy talking Japanese. Oh
goodness.
Yeah, it was very strange.
I probably need to go back and watch that. Yeah,
but the game actually still is looking very interesting, and I'm quite excited to play it. So December 9th, so long as it doesn't get delayed. Got a feeling it probably could. The next game actually looks somewhat surprising and somewhat interesting, because it's called Tanuki Pond Summer.
Oh, goodness.
I'll read the description as from IGN. Xbox unveiled a super cute game called Tanuki Pond Summer at Tokyo Game Show, alongside a revealed trailer showcasing gameplay. So, bike around 4 charming and distinctive Japanese small towns, deliver packages for townsfolk, complete unique quests and activities, and win the hearts of townsfolk. Save up enough money to repair the local Tanuki shrine in time for the Great Tanuki Festival.
Ooh.
The art style is actually very, very cool to it, and this is one of the very few games I looked at and I went, yeah, I'd play that. Sweet. And it is coming to Game Pass as well, as far as I know, so this will be one to pick up. Not sure when it's going to be released, but, well, we'll see on that one, but I think this looks cool. Threads of Time, it's getting another take on the HD 2D formula, RPG formula, so it's another Square Enix game that's getting a remaster done.
Right.
So cool. Can't go wrong with 2.4 with the HD 2D games.
Right.
Some of them look really cool. Anyway, next up, a new game has been added to Game Pass. I say new game, it's a newish game. Or it's a remaster of an old game. We Love Katamari Reroll Plus.
Oh, awesome! I love Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, so this is the sequel. That's good.
Yes!
And it's on Game Pass as we speak right now. So go and download that. So next up was Hero Shooter Fragpunk, and there's getting a closed beta in October. So they had a new little deep dive into this, which, I mean, you had me for a moment with the name, look, but then Hero Shooter, and it's like, nope, I'm out. It's not my kind of game, but to those who are interested, fair enough. October 10th for the closed beta for that one. So fair enough. So Metaphor ReFantasio, I've got a new trailer. So this is the one that's coming from the Persona developers.
Right.
So creators of Persona, so it's Atlas Games. So they revealed that they had a demo coming as well, and it's launching October 11th. Right, next up was Atelier Yumia. That got a deep dive trailer. So The Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. It's the full title of the game. So alchemy themed JRPG around the concept of memory. Okay. This was so I think you're probably going to start to get the feeling from this showcase is that it's very focused towards a Japanese audience.
Yes.
Very focused because it's very very anime game heavy.
I mean, it is the Tokyo Game Show.
Right? I have no issues with it. Like, obviously, it's nice that they're catering this towards their particular audience.
Exactly.
So, next game was Asurajang Rumble. So it's they got a new trailer. It shows top-down gameplay and mechanics, including stamina-based combat system, and it's a survival strategy game. So I'll read the blurb. It's a new battle royale experience that mixes in melee combat that packs a punch and trendy anime-style graphics. Pick your favourite character and engage in strategic combat to become the last team standing in Asurajang.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Next up was Bleach Rebirth of Souls. It got a new trailer.
Yeah.
Fine. So the trailer focused on the iconic battle of the anime and manga between Ishigo Kurosaki, and I am not pronouncing that name, Jesus Christ. I don't want to offend our Japanese audience if we had any. Apologies.
We may do.
I know, that's why I said if we had any.
Yes.
So I'm not, I don't want to. So next up was Sin Duality Echo of Ada. So that's launching in January 2025. Can't say I really know what this is much about. So this is a player versus environment extraction shooter.
Oh goodness.
Oh god, yeah.
I have to agree with Nana. Bleach is still relevant in 2024 somehow. Well, yeah, I agree. Agreed. But yes.
Okay, talk about catering to your Japanese audience. Furry Friends is coming to Fallout 76.
Oh,
so this is a Pets expansion coming to Fallout 76.
No. Boo.
Yep, I know. Next up, this one causes a lot of problems in terms of its pronunciation in terms of the game. Some people call it Suikoden, some call it Suikoden. But 1 and 2 remaster gets gameplay comparison, so it obviously showed differences between the two. So I think we all know basically it's a JRPG. One of the games lets you build up 108 allies, so that's a lot of characters.
It is, yeah.
Yes, so next up was a game called All You Need Is Help, and that was available as of the day of recording of that showcase. So I'll read this from IGN. It says, taking the cake for strangest game in the featured in the showcase. All You Need Is Help is about weird Tetris-looking animals doing weird things.
Okay.
So, according to Xbox Wire, it says All You Need Is Help is a 4-player co-op game with local and online multiplayer fully supported. Find players regardless of your console thanks to cross-platform support and a robust lobby system. All You Need Is Help is also features deep customization where players can unlock new skins. So, it doesn't really tell you anything about the game, unfortunately, but it does have a very interesting art style, we'll say that, but go and check the trailer out for it that's your thing. It is out today, and it's probably on Game Pass.
Well, I have to agree with what Nana says, which is Fallout 76 in 2024 is not relevant yet.
Correct.
I agree.
Right, so next up was Slitterhead. So this is from the Silent Hill creator Teichiro Toyama.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Yep.
So the clip offers an in-depth look at Slitterhead's possession system, which allows you to take control of any human and use them to battle against the grotesque monsters that infested the city. So we have seen this game before at a previous showcase, I believe, or something. So anyway, it does look alright. Next up, the Starbites. So Starbites Taste of Desert got a new trailer during the showcase. Showed off the turn strategy game, which takes players to the planet of Bitter. Okay. And lets them take control of a topsy-turvy crew of mech pilots. Excellent. So, right. Next up was Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake. Got a nice deep dive trailer there, so very cool. This is another one that seems to be causing a lot of stir. So, yeah, I've not really played many Dragon Quest games, so it might be one worth looking at. Next up was probably the two biggest, the final two announcements. This is probably the biggest because it shows a continuing partnership with a certain Square Enix, or Square Enix, however you pronounce it, whatever, because both Trials of Mana and Legend of Mana are now available on Game Pass.
That is wild.
And the final announcement was the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster is now on Xbox.
Woo. It's actually really good.
Unlike the Mana games, they're not available via Game Pass, which is unfortunate, but it's nice to have the Pixel Remaster games on Xbox.
Yeah.
Because they're on everything else.
Yes, exactly.
So, I'm not going to lie, I watched this showcase whilst I was at home working, so was sort of dipping in and out of it, but it wasn't a particularly strong showcase.
No.
But it's very centred towards their audience of Japanese players, which I've got no problem with at all. It's just it would have been nice for a couple more big hitter announcements there.
Yeah.
Especially from more first-party developers, but hey, I guess they're still cooking on some of that, so fine.
I think so, yeah. Then it says, I would say last year's showcase was stronger. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, some of the games coming to Game Pass is always a nice idea, always a nice thing. You know, Legends and Trials of Mana being on Game Pass is a great idea, because even I'm considering downloading those and playing them.
Yeah.
So, fair enough. Anyway, that was Xbox's showcase. So next up we had PlayStation's State of Play, and this was a couple of days before the pre-orders went live for the 30th anniversary PlayStation 5s and Pros, and the PlayStation 5 Pro as well. So this was their way of trying to get people in. I preface that because there was a reason behind it. So let's go through what Eurogamer have listed down on all of this.
Right.
So they've actually done it in order, so thank goodness. So for once, thanks Eurogamer. So first up, Astro Bot. Astro Bot is getting some free DLC. So there's some new challenge levels coming, and there will be 10 more Astro Bots to collect. There were two franchises that were revealed in there. One of them I cannot remember, but the other one, the Helldivers.
Oh wow.
So they've actually got the Helldive. They've got. No, the other one was Stellar Blade. So they've now got an Eve one for coming in this update. Right. So it's 10 new bots to rescue and 5 new online speedrun levels.
Oh, that's cool.
All for free, and it's coming this autumn.
I like that. I do like that.
I did too. So next up was The Midnight Walk. So this is a sci-fi It's not. So this is a claymation like game. Midnight Walk's latest game from the creators of Lost in Random. It appears to be playing as some dude with a flame on his head exploring a very unsettling world.
Oh, I like that.
This actually did look very, very interesting, to be fair.
Right.
So the interesting thing about this as well is that not only is it coming to just PS5, but it is also playable in VR 2 as well.
Right, okay.
So, yeah, PlayStation VR 2. So, it will have both versions. Kind of cool. So, whatever way you want to play it. So, next up was Hell Is Us. Get shots of a war-torn country, but it looks like other people is the least of its problems. So.
Oh wow! Okay.
I didn't remember too much about this, to be honest. It seemed very brief, but might be enough. It might be a you kind of game, I think.
I was gonna say I need to look into that.
Unfortunately, Eurogamer's descriptions on what the games actually were are not particularly strong here.
Oh.
What a surprise!
Yeah.
Anyway, next up. Clearly they haven't forgotten the PSVR 2 is actually a thing, because Metro Awakening VR was the next up. So this is due for release on 7th of November for PSVR 2. Actually did look really cool, to be fair. Did look good.
Very cool.
So next was Arcade Chronicles. So this is a high fantasy game. Looks very similar to how Monster Hunter would be, so very large mythical creatures as well. So another one that probably didn't really get really much of a look in from me as well.
Okay.
I actually didn't really get around to looking at this story too much. I didn't add this to the agenda because I completely forgot all about it until I've just seen this, because Power World got a launch trailer for PS5 and it was out that day.
Yes.
So in before they were inevitably sued to hell by Nintendo.
Oh, definitely. Which people still seem surprised about that, by the way.
No, the fact is that Nintendo said that they were exploring legal counsel on it ages ago, and then it's
we talked about it on the show,
and then it came out. It's like Nintendo is suing Power World.
But
wow, in the least obvious news of all time, like how Epic and frickin' Apple were going to go to court.
Exactly.
So yeah. Anyway, next up was the Luna Remastered Collection. So this is a set of the Luna game, the Luna Silver Star Story games from PS1.
Yeah.
So these are arriving in spring of 2025.
Oh wow!
So another JRPG to wet the whistle. Right, next we actually had 2 updates from a game that was released last year. I believe it was last year anyway. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge.
Sweet.
So first came in the Radical Reptiles DLC.
Okay.
So this adds 2 new characters, which is kind of cool. And next was a free remix of the soundtrack was also being released alongside the DLC, including Anamanaguchi being added to it.
Oh.
Who were the ones who did the soundtrack for Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yeah. Ah, very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. Right, next up, Sonic Cross Shadows Generations, the game that people forget about. So there is a upcoming DLC that is coming to it. So announcing DLC before the game comes out.
Pete, I'm going to take a very brief break.
Sure.
I was going to run to the bathroom.
You go for it.
So, but keep going, and I will join you in 2 seconds, I promise.
Sure. Okay. Well, actually, I might as well just talk. So, Nana, you said, I still don't know what Power World is about. Power World is apparently about Pokemon with guns. Pokemon with guns. It was actually showcased in a Jeff Keighley jaunt, I believe it was, one of the Summer Games Fest. I thought it looked kind of cool, but it looks really, really janky at the same time as well. So, hey, whatever. So yeah, Sonic Cross Shadows Generations. There's a DLC pack coming for it on 12th of December. It is adding Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow. So this is a Sonic 3 movie pack. And it is going to be included within the digital deluxe version of the main game. So they announced as well that the digital deluxe version means that you can play the game 3 days early. So due for release on 25th of October. So yeah, it'll be on the Tuesday or the Wednesday of that week. So only a few more weeks to wait for that one, I guess. Next up, Fantasian Neo Dimension. So this is released on December 5th for PS4 and PS5, and this is they showed the combat system for this, so can't say I know really too much about it. Nana, so Kylie's just nipped off, so she's just decided to turn her camera off for a second. So yeah, that's fine. I'm going to leave this one because actually I want to talk to Kylie about this, because there was a bit of a deep dive about that. Oh, there was several games on there to talk. Actually, there's quite a few I think that we need to talk about, so we'll go through those in a bit. Yes. Yeah, I think we'll leave it for now because there's too many games here that I think Kylie needs to talk to me about. So, yeah. Right. Actually, I think we'll go over this one because I think she did like the game, but I'm not sure she's going to be interested in it. Alan Wake 2's DLC, The Lake House, is coming. So it's going to be released in October. So they didn't really show too much about this at all. But, I mean, if you have the deluxe version of the game, I think you're going to get it anyway. So this is control focused DLC. So this is what Lottie was hoping for. So in the DLC, we'll be visiting a Federal Bureau of Control facility called the Lake House, and knowing this agency's history in handling a supernatural events, don't think anything good has happened there. So yeah, maybe released in time for Halloween. Who knows? But we'll see on that one. Right. Yeah, I think I'm just going to hold fire for a minute. So if you've got any questions, we'll go over those.
Okay.
Yes, I will get to that in a moment, and I will cover that very, very soon. So I've done a hard stop here for you because there's a various list of games that I think we need to talk about. Don't read that. We'll get into that soon.
Okay.
So one of the games that we showcased, and they showcased a lot of, Dragon Age: The Veil Guard.
Right. Yes.
So did you see much of the gameplay for this?
Well, I'd watched the gameplay video that they dropped a couple of months ago, I think. But
but this is an updated one.
I haven't seen that.
I would recommend going to see it if you are interested in this game, because I know that you are.
I am interested. Yeah, exactly.
I didn't think this looks very interesting at all. I thought the combat system looked incredibly dated.
Right.
And I thought the graphics looked like crap too.
I wasn't impressed with the last gameplay footage I saw.
Yeah, so there is another game later on, I think, that they showed that actually looks a hell of a lot better than this, and it's very similar in terms of its theming, so we'll go over that in a bit.
Right.
But yeah, this did not look good. They showed one of the dragons in this and it looked awful.
Oh,
no.
And
the combat for it looked really generically boring.
Oh, that's disappointing. I mean, obviously I'll check it out for myself. It's still disappointing.
Yeah, so I mentioned this one to the audience quickly, but DLC for Alan Wake 2 is coming.
Oh, right.
So yeah, you'll understand the reason why I've held off on some of these. Hitman World of Assassination is coming to PSVR 2.
Nice. Oh,
they showed off how that's going to work, and that's coming in December. Next up, this was long rumoured, but now has finally been announced, and it's not just coming to PlayStation. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered.
That was the announcement that was my favourite so far.
Yep.
Yes. I love Legacy of Kain. It's obviously it's a series.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the first game I ever purchased on the PS1. Ever. But even then, that was the third of previous.
Was that
two.
Blood Omen?
No. What was it called? Legacy of Kain. Soul Reaver, I think is what it was called.
Yeah.
And I just fell in love with it. I loved it so much. It was such a good game.
Cool.
Yeah. So I love the whole series.
Awesome. So next up, they had a game called Fear the Spotlight. So this is from the recently filmed Blumhouse Games. So Blumhouse Film Studio.
Yes. Yeah.
This looks like their take on a PS1 styled horror game.
Oh goodness.
It looks okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Next up, Towers of Agashaba. Don't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll
Build your perfect village.
I mean, I do like that.
Yeah. So it's coming to early access in November this year for PS5. Great. Skipping over that because nobody cares about a freaking Fortnite controller.
Oh no.
The only interesting thing about that is actually there's a split screen mode coming to Lego Fortnite in October.
Ah, okay.
Fine. Next up, Dynasty Warriors Origins, January 17th, 2025.
Oh, right.
Looks okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Looks okay. But based on what some of the Dynasty Warriors games have been like over the last few years, it might be crap. They've not got a good track record for a while.
No, they don't.
So coming back to the game that I thought looked a hell of a lot better, and the game that Capcom seemed to show far too much of, Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh,
We
wow.
got another trailer for Monster Hunter Wilds. And yeah, fine, great, fantastic, coming out in February. So they did actually announce the release date on this one, so it's 28th of February 2025.
Right.
But this is the comparison game that I was talking about. They showed dragons in this and they looked freaking fantastic. Dragon Age looked awful. So it's not a good game to have really sort of side by side.
Oh, goodness.
Well, not really side by side, but you know what I mean.
Well, yeah, same face or whatever.
Right, next up, Lego Horizons Adventures. They showed a new trailer for this.
I don't understand.
I don't give a crap.
I don't understand.
No,
Why?
so 14th of November for this one. So you can play as Lego minifigures of PlayStation exclusive characters like Sackboy and Ratchet in the PS5 version, I guess, or the PS4 game.
Cool.
So next up, the heavily rumoured, in fact, is now an official thing. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered.
Oh, goodness.
A game from 2017? Yeah. So this is actually being developed by both Guerrilla and Nixis. So one of the studios that they purchased not long ago. They've got about 10 hours of re-recorded conversation and mocap.
Oh, goodness.
However, to soften the blow a little bit, anyone who owns the original PS4 version can get an upgrade to this for only $10.
Okay.
That's why I said to try.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not great. Not a game that needed a remaster at all.
No.
What a pointless waste of time.
I have to agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Right, next up, Stellar Blade.
I do like Stellar Blade.
So, Stellar Blade is getting a DLC update coming later this year.
Okay.
In collaboration with Nier Automata.
Oh, okay. That actually makes sense.
Completely makes sense.
Yeah.
So, we don't really know exactly what they're going to do with this yet because it was just an announcement trailer for it. But there is a photo mode coming soon to Stellar Blade as well. Because, of course, why not?
Yeah, I do like what Nana says, which is Sony don't make useless remaster challenge, parentheses, impossible.
Yeah, true. Next up, they talked over what's coming in October's PS Plus games. So they're going to include Dead Space, WWE 2K24, and Doki Doki Literature Club Plus.
Oh, wow! that's cool.
So games coming to the PS Plus Classics collection is Blood Omen, Legacy of Kain, and Dino Crisis.
Oh, excellent.
And The Last of Us Part 1 joins the PS Plus game catalogue on Last of Us Day, which was 26th of September.
Right.
Because clearly Sony are committed to the fact that that game did not sell copies.
Yeah.
Next up, because those who may not have watched the technical showcase would be watching a state of play, Mark Cerny came up and talked about the PS5 Pro, and it's still complete dog shit. So that's all I'm saying on that one.
Right, okay.
But now to the final game. And now you're going to start to understand the reason why I did pick up a game and play it.
Okay.
Because the final game that was announced was finally a first-party Sony title. One that they've been languishing on.
Okay.
Because coming in 2025, no release date other than that, a sequel to Ghost of Tsushima is coming called Ghost of Yotai.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
So
that's a surprise.
Completely new area and completely new protagonist.
That's definitely a surprise.
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
So they showed quite a lot of the in-engine stuff for this. And my goodness, does it look beautiful.
Oh, that's good to hear.
It seems to have annoyed a few people on the internet because female protagonist. I know.
Why?
I
Why?
know. I don't know why. I mean, based on the fact of what I've played of Ghost of Tsushima, there's plenty of decently female characters in that game. I don't see the problem.
That's so weird. That is so weird.
Freaking strange, honestly, but hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can now start. So after a little bit of a prod from my mate at work as well, after I finished Astro Bot, Ghost of Tsushima got played because this got announced. I was like, maybe I should play the first one.
There you go.
So yeah, I told you they would have a payoff for it eventually.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So yeah, that was the state of play. Not a bad showcase, but not a great one at the same time.
Yeah.
Sort of the same thing as Xbox's showcase. They probably knew what they were doing to cater to certain audiences there.
Yeah.
I just think that unfortunately it's another one where you need, so the biggest problem is people are feeling like at the moment with Sony and Xbox is that not a lot of first party stuff is shown.
Yeah.
And this has once again flattered to deceive in that respect.
Yeah.
Obviously nice to get a confirmation of a first party Sony title being made with Ghost of Yotai.
Yeah.
Fine. But there's still not enough reason to justify a purchase for a PS5 when you know that game's probably coming to PC in 2026.
Yeah.
So
I still have yet to purchase a PS5. I just have not been moved enough.
Don't bother. Honestly, don't bother. They're not worth it. They're not worth it. I wouldn't even say that an Xbox Series X or S is even worth it at this point either.
I'll be honest. I have not started my Xbox in 2 months. I've not been on it once. I haven't even been on the Xbox app.
Press X to doubt because I saw that you were playing Sleeping Dogs on it the other day.
Not on the Xbox, I wasn't. I was on PC.
Oh, okay. Alright, I'll let you off then because it showed on your gamer card that you've been playing it.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, I was playing it on PC.
Okay. So, Nana has actually raised a good story for us to quickly close this out with because I completely forgot about it. The RGG Summit happened over the course of the last week or two as well. So RGG, for those who don't know, is the studio that creates Yakuza, or the Like a Dragon series.
Yes.
And they revealed their new game. I say their new game, their new spin-off game. Because the game is called Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So this is...
Yes.
So this is a game that focuses on Majima Goro, who
I like what
washes
Danger
up.
said. He says, "Oh yes," or "Arr."
Yeah, that is correct.
Yes.
So this is a game that focuses on Majima Goro, who is one of the antagonists of Yakuza 0, also playable in Yakuza 0. washes up on a beach in Hawaii, so utilising some of the assets they created for Infinite Wealth.
Yeah.
And he has absolutely no recollection of who he is, so decides to become a pirate. And this is about as batshit as insane as it usually gets with the Like a Dragon or Yakuza series. And I'm all in.
Yep.
I'm
absolutely.
completely all in. Like, they showcased this with a long 7 or 8 minute trailer. And then decided to wait and to show some of the actual in-depth combat stuff. And my god, does it look completely bafflingly insane, and I'm totally in. Like, it's coming out in February next year. And yeah, I'll be buying it. I'll be playing it. Of course I will be. I know I've been floundering on the Yakuza series for a while. I probably should be playing it. I think after I'm done with Tsushima, I'm probably going to be... I'm probably just going to go and play Infinite Wealth before the end of the year. Because Game of the Year is coming up. Then I'll go back and play Yakuza proper.
Yes.
I do need to go back to my backlog in a serious way, but Ghost of Tsushima has sat on there a hell of a lot longer than all of the Yakuza games.
Yeah. Very true.
But yeah, I'm really like the look of the game. It looks stunning again. So, like, they really know how to use that Dragon engine. It's unbelievable how good it looks year on year at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's your news for this week.
Woohoo! Very, very glad to hear all of that, actually. It's exciting stuff. I mean, it's not like, heart-pounding, can't wait for it stuff, but it's still good. It's a good solid.
No, it's nice to have stuff out there, like, to be getting excited about, I guess, because it's not really been much over the years.
No,
the last year.
The last year, for sure.
This year has been such a wet fart with some games.
It has. It just has.
Like, the indie scene's been strong and solid, but the AAA sphere has been pretty dour. Yeah.
But Pete, that means it's time to wrap it up. Let's rapid reviews.
That is correct, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because actually the return of the previous thing that we have done before, and in order to try and make people remember to visit www.rapidreviewsuk.com, we're going to do a small roundup of some of the reviews that have made their way onto the site this week, including Super Catboy, Rogue Prince of Persia Early Access, Roaming Rails Redux, and the incredible Astro Bot review by Seb Howden. So for this week, there's been more on Tech Reviews UK as well, so please go and check both of those sites out. But there's some good stuff going out onto the site on a regular basis, so please go and check those sites out, and you can find them on Twitter, X, or wherever social media, I guess, because they're on Facebook as well. But yeah, links are usually posted on there, so you can find their ways onto there, and the writers do tend to post up their reviews as well for people to share out and that, so please go and give them a look. Appreciate more people to come and have a look.
Yes, because your eyes on their stuff makes this show possible.
Correct.
Because we are a subsidiary of the Rapid Reviews website. Supplement, as I used to say. We're a supplement.
We supplement each other.
Yes. But I do think that's going to do it. So, Pete, I will ask you, where else can they find you out there?
So you can find me on the Twitter account for Rapid Reviews Radio Podcast, but I don't tend to use it very frequently. Same with Blue Sky as well. I'm trying to rethink what we're going to do with both of those, but that will probably come in the new year once I've got more time to think. Other than that, you can listen to me on the Never Watchers podcast. I have now watched 1993's Mario Brothers, ready for a recording over the next week, so that should be with you by the time we record our show next week.
Awesome.
So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, that's on most good and some bad podcast players at the Never Watchers.
Ooh,
for all your film and TV stuff.
Yes.
So
I like that.
Kylie, where can they find your streams?
Yes. So I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Sometimes I do sneaky streams on the other days. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in. But Mondays we do Mayhem Mondays. I don't know why I never called them that.
It used to be Manic Mondays.
I did Manic. I did Marauding. I don't know why I never picked Mayhem. There has to be a reason, and I cannot think of it. But Mayhem Mondays is it is. Weird Wednesdays and Frightening Fridays. But we are now entering Spooky Scary Month. So everything I'm going to play is considered spooky. A lot of AAA stuff we're sticking to this month. Unless I get a message from an indie developer, which I have in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, my game is spooky. Why don't you play it? Why don't you stream it? I'll do that for sure. But other than that, we're doing some classic spooky games for the next month. And also, Mike Tendo has a new podcast called Game and Chat, which Pete's been on twice, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his shows is already out. Apparently my show's coming out. Okay, well my show's apparently coming out this week.
Yeah.
So go watch it so that he will have me on again.
Yeah, so that'll be out today as you're listening to this, the audio version. Yeah. Tomorrow if you're watching live.
Look it up.
Yeah, I'll share it out on social media once it goes live anyway, so you can see via that.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And also, if you can follow me on YouTube, I just hit 20k views and stupid light. And my subs are steadily rising, but I'm gonna just break it down to you very honestly. For me to become a YouTube partner, I need 400 or is it 500 subs? I think it's 500 subs, and I ain't even at 100 yet. And also, for Twitch, I need 50 subs, and I'm at 37. So, if you can give me a follow, you don't have to sit around and watch my content, although I love it, and I'm appreciative when it does happen, but you don't have to. But if you can follow me on YouTube and Twitch and TikTok, it's all the same, Kiley_WILTE,
yep. I believe. All the links are in the show notes anyway, so once we stop recording, once we stop doing the live stream, it's added straight onto Twitch, YouTube, podcast players, all of the such. But
I would deeply appreciate that. And then if you want to join us, if you're a podcast listener, which we appreciate so very much, but you want to join us live, we're over on twitch.tv/Rapid Reviews, where we do a pre and post show. That we get to interact with our lovely, beautiful, fabulous chat that I love and adore. But I think that's going to do it for the show portion. So I will leave you with this. We will see you and talk to you next week. Bye!
Bye! Thank you for listening to this episode of the Rapid Reviews Radio podcast. You can find the podcast on Anchor FM, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and various other podcast platforms. You can also find the video version by searching Rapid Reviews on YouTube and watch the podcast recording live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Rapid Reviews at 7:30pm UK time every Sunday. Please make sure to follow the podcast on Twitter at RRRadiopod, and for all the latest reviews visit www.rapidreviewsuk.com or on Twitter at Rapid Reviews UK.